I'm Julie Symons and I'm 62 years old, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer in November 2010. My life before my cancer diagnosis was challenging. My husband had passed away from melanoma after suffering from melanoma, and my diagnosis was 2 months after he passed away to the day. And so I was going through a lot of grief for several months before my own cancer diagnosis. I'll remember it really clearly because I remember sitting there thinking, how am I going to go through this by myself after caring for my husband? Because I knew that we worked as a team when he was really ill, and all I could think of was, how am I going to do this without him? All of those people that I needed to tell were grieving from the loss of my husband, so it wasn't really easy. And it just so happened that the surgeon that I was going to meet 2 days later to have the official diagnosis was my husband's melanoma surgeon. So that was the most positive thing for me, number one, because that made me realise where I needed to go. Making the decision to come back to Peter Mac for treatment, that was a real positive for me, because I've got to tell you that Peter Mac is like a home away from home. You walk in and you feel like you've got your slippers on. And so I knew I knew where everything was. I knew what the people were like. My husband used to say everybody's had an injection of compassion, and because that's what the staff are like here. And so when I came back too, I ran into some of the doctors and the nurses that had treated Ray, and they wanted to know how I was. And then, of course, they said, so what are you doing back here? And then I'd tell them the story. But the feeling of just Peter Mac's arms around you, that was really fabulous. And the other thing is that clearly quality of life is really important to the staff here, so that if you need to make an appointment, everything is done so that it fits into your quality of life, and that's taken into account. And if there's one thing I've come to really understand incredibly well, is the importance of quality of life.